You're watching TV Me 07. Thank you for stopping by. Today, we are going to look at Perry Ernest, the man. Who was Perry Ernest? We are going to take you to a brief journey in history about Perry Ernest, who he was, who were those behind him, who were the people that helped him and encouraged him in his music career, who was his family, where did he live, and what made Perry Ernest so special in the hearts of many. We are not going to cover all of this today, but in the future episodes we are going to go through bit by bit and go into history of Perry Ernest music. Today we are going to start off with Jungle Man. It says we are Jungle Man. We are Perry sings about having a brother in South Africa, having a brother all around Europe, everywhere he had a brother. Perry was the people's man, a man of conscience, a man rich in his culture. Perry Ernest hailed from Delta State, the present-day Delta State of Nigeria. Precisely, it came from Onitsha. Onitsha is part of Aniocha. Aniocha and the surrounding environment are regarded as descendants of Umeze Chima. This is why when you hear Perry talk about Umeze Chima, though he was given accolade and homage to his forefathers, Perry was a man full of culture. He was proud of who he was. And most of all, he was proud of his music. Perry's career started way back in 1974, building up his career from the ashes of the Nigerian Biafran Civil War. Just like most young men of his age, Perry was struggling to make his way out of the ashes of the Civil War, and he found love in his guitar. Most young men who fought in the war traded their magazine and triggers for their guitar strings. Although Perry might have not been old enough to be in the war, but he indeed felt the pains of the war. And this is the reason why he might have been singing, or he always alluded to death. In his first music that was released in 45 vinyl, that music was released on a label that I think that belonged to EMI, where he sang about yesterday is gone. So he tried to encourage us to forget about it yesterday, forget about the pains, and forge ahead and look into the future and make no one of his sang about the future roads later on in his one of his performances. And now Perry also used Polydor as one of his labels, and Polydor in 1977 had a contract with Perry, who recorded the song shortly after he came back from France, and popularly known as Arrival. In Arrival, Perry sang his Ozioma, which is message. Perry also sang about what they call a simple prayer, where he sang in his local vernacular Igbo dialect, giving accolades to his ancestors. even to the heavenly bodies of the moon, stars, and the sun. One of his earliest labels was Phillips, where Perry released the Uwabafia as well as the Preacher Man, one of his most favorite numbers. Perry had people that affected his life, like the person you are seeing, my sister, Teresa, or Nina, who was fondly known as Nene. And you often heard Perry say Nene, Nene. He was referring to this lady, this lovely lady. That was my sister. And she was married to Perry. They had a beautiful daughter. And later on, actually their first child together. And later on, Perry went to have two more other children, a boy and a girl, who are now gone. Perry was a beautiful musician. He was a lovely person. Perry's music touched every one of us. Even those who did not quite understand his music, but they liked the rhythm. There had this special kind of way that Perry plucked away his guitar. And those of you who knew him, or those of us who were close to him, who are related by marriage, like these people that you see in the picture, my sister there and in the middle with her siblings, lost Perry Ernest music. Perry Ernest did struggle with his music career because it was quite challenging in the 70s when you had different kinds of garage bands sprouting up from the ashes of the Civil War, the likes of Sonny Okosun, Bongo Slipway, and some other ones, including Ike Peters. They all came out from the ashes of the Civil War and they sang how they felt. But Perry tried to make a distinct niche for himself. Because he sang in Igbo language and understand in English language. When he sang this particular album called Uwabafia, he said that means life is like market. It's like a vapor that appears for a while and then vanishes away. Perry reminded us of the temporary nature or the temporal nature of life, that we should not brag about it. We should make hay while the sun shines, just like he sang in the release of 1978 called Time Waits for Nobody. You see Perry with his friends, notably Gardner, whom he oftentimes came to visit our home in Lagos. Perry had a very lovely smile and stood at about 5'10", fair in complexion with his distinct ethnic mark to the right of his cheek. Unfortunately, Perry is no longer with us today, but his music, our jungle man, keeps ringing in our ears to this day. Even those who are too young to know who Perry was are today enjoying his music. Later on, we'll be playing some more music of Perry and then we'll bring you more stories about where Perry lived, who were his close friends, what were his struggles. I'd like you to come back to this channel later on and we will endeavor to bring you more of Perry's documentary and legacy. Thank you.